Alright NFL fans, it's that time of the year again. Free agency is in full swing, and the 2025 offseason has already delivered some massive signings, shocking trades, and big money contracts. Whether your team is making power moves or staying quiet, the league landscape is shifting in a big way. Let's dive into some of the biggest headlines so far, starting with the Buffalo Bills. They just locked in their franchise quarterback, Josh Allen, with a monster 6-year deal worth $330 million. Including a whopping $250 million guaranteed. That kind of money says one thing. Buffalo is all in on Allen for the long haul. They also made moves to bolster their receiving core, signing Josh Palmer on a 3-year, $36 million contract, and extending Khalil Shakir for 4 years at $60.2 million. On defense, Greg Rousseau secured a 4-year, $80 million extension, while Terrell Bernard stays locked in with a 4-year, $50 million deal. The Bills are making sure they stay competitive in the AFC. Meanwhile, in Miami, the Dolphins brought in quarterback Zach Wilson on a 1-year deal, looking to add depth and competition at the position. They also made moves on the offensive line, bringing in James Daniels on a 3-year, $24 million deal. Miami's strategy seems to be about strengthening protection and stability. The New England Patriots are shaking things up at QB, signing Joshua Dobbs on a 2-year, $8 million deal. But they didn't stop there. They added weapons like W.R. Mac Hollins and T.E. Austin Hooper to give their offense more firepower. On defense, the Pats made a splash by signing D.L. Milton Williams to a 4-year, $104 million contract and bringing in C.B. Carlton Davis on a 3-year, $60 million deal. Clearly, they're aiming to build a well-rounded squad. Over in New York, the Jets are taking a gamble on Justin Fields, signing him to a 2-year, $40 million deal with $30 million guaranteed. They're betting on Fields' potential, hoping he can turn the page and lead the offense. They also retained linebacker Jamian Sherwood with a 3-year, $45 million deal, and strengthened the secondary with CB Brandon Stevens. Moving to the AFC North, the Ravens are keeping OT Ronnie Stanley around with a 3-year, $60 million contract, while the Bengals made headlines by placing a non-exclusive franchise tag on W.R.T. Higgins, meaning he'll earn $26.2 million in 2025, unless a long-term deal is struck. Cincinnati also re-signed T.E. Mike Gesicki and bolstered their defensive line. In Cleveland, the Browns made a huge statement by extending Myles Garrett for 4 more years at an average of $40 million per season, keeping their defensive leader in town for the long haul. They also acquired QB Kenny Pickett in a trade with the Eagles, shaking up their quarterback room. Perhaps the biggest wide receiver move? The Steelers acquired DK Metcalf in a trade with the Seahawks, and immediately signed him to a 4-year, $132 million extension. Pittsburgh is clearly prioritizing offensive firepower heading into 2025. The AFC South saw the Texans trading for Christian Kirk, while re-signing key defensive pieces. The Colts, Jaguars, and Titans all made strategic moves to bolster both their offensive and defensive lines, showing a focus on building from the trenches. The AFC West also brought major developments, with the Raiders acquiring Geno Smith and extending Max Crosby for $106.5 million over 3 years. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are trying to keep their championship core together by re-signing Nick Bolton and placing the franchise tag on Trey Smith. Over in the NFC, the Cowboys retained key defensive players, while the Giants locked in W.R. Darius Slayton for 3 more years. The Eagles pulled off a blockbuster, signing Saquon Barkley to a massive 2-year, $41.2 million extension with $36 million guaranteed. And Washington? They just landed Deebo Samuel in a trade, adding another dynamic playmaker to their offense. This is just a glimpse of the non-stop action happening in NFL free agency. Teams are making moves that will shape the 2025 season, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned, because there's bound to be more surprises ahead. Stay subscribed for more videos.